Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kansas City Royals franchise here on MLB The Show 23. I am DFG, and today we have the draft. That's going to be the big thing that's going on today. But before that, we will have our feature-length game here against the Nationals. That's what I said that we were going to start off in our last video, and indeed we will here today. The draft is in 13 days, so we've only got one more scouting session left before that happens. But before we do that, we will be going into our game against the Washington Nationals today, and we will be using Noah Syndergaard. Here are the lineups for today. Let's see if we are able to get a win here off the Nats and improve our record ahead of theirs. We actually have the same record going into this game. They bring out Luis Gil as he's actually had a pretty decent start to his season, or I suppose first half of the season with a 3.25 ERA. And we lead off with Vinny Pasquantino as he gets a first pitch strike there with the two-seamer fastball. I've actually had a lot of fun playing Major League Baseball lately, MLB The Show, and it's been a lot of fun as we get here up to the All-Star break. I would think with a 309 average, Vinny Pasquantino might be someone who could sneak in to become one of the American League All-Stars. So that would be really nice to see, as Pasquantino has got an even count now, 2-2. And unfortunately, he's going to ground it to third base. He's going to be the first out of the inning. That's the second out, and that brings up Salvador Perez. It was that was an 0-2 pitch there for Perez, but he takes it low, doesn't chase it. And that's another one that's low and inside. So Perez gets back to an even count with Gil only on 11 pitches through one here. And Perez hits a slider that was down in the zone, but he hits it out into the bullpen. And he gives us the lead here with his 14th home run this season. 414 feet. Honestly, off the bat, I didn't think it was going to go out. But that's another home run I've hit with Perez. I've been hitting well with him lately, just not consistently. He's given us the lead here in the first. For his Ronan Odor, and after a ball, he will ground out to second. We play with Noah Syndergaard here, who got off to a really bad start, leveled the playing field a little bit, leveled the ship, before kind of struggling back again. 4.23 ERA, 3-8 record. He's been doing okay, I would say. But good start here against Luis Garcia as he gets him to ground to second base. Lane Thomas is next, and he's going to fly out to left field. Gavin Cross is out there today, and he will take that one. Now Joey Meneses, 2-2. And he's going to starch that one down the third base line. Cross does cut it off before he could get maybe a double out of it. So, one on here for Syndergaard in the first. Pedro Julio, the pick from the Nationals, I believe, in our first draft. He's down on 0-2 here, and they say he went around into the first. And Cross is going to end the top of the second here with a ground to first, as we do nothing in our offensive exchange there in the second. Keibert Ruiz just got a pretty good call there on that last pitch. That circle change looked like it was in the zone to me, and they said it was outside. And he does walk. So now Ildemaru Vargas comes up, and that was a chance to get a double play, and Pasquantino has thrown it into the outfield, and luckily enough, doesn't do anything other than allow the man on first to get onto first. There's another ball by Syndergaard. Bases are full. Josh Donaldson comes up here, hitting 8th. Fastball right there in the zone. It was a very nice sinker down and inside. Townsend, of course, the 2015 MVP, just flashed up there, and the slurve gets him. Josh Donaldson goes down. Brady House is next, and that might be enough for the tag. Pollock will catch it, but they will be able to tag from third and be able to bring up the man from second to third. So now they still have a man in 90. Now they have a man 90 feet away, and they're even with us once again. 2 down and 0-2, and Luis Garcia is going to pop out the third. And Noah Syndergaard is able to get out a little bit of trouble, but he did allow one run. Pasquantino isn't able to keep that fair. He's 0 for 1 today and an 0-2 pitch. Nearly starched it down the third base line. That one's inside, though. As Lewis Heel here on the top of the third, 34 pitches into his day. And he's going to catch him with the slider inside. Pasquantino strikes out and the offensive threat for Kansas City. Julio's going to fly out to left field, and that's going to end the third. So 3 up, 3 down there for Syndergaard. And there's Odor, 2 down, and he gets hit by a pitch there, Odor. And now Michael Massey's up. 46 pitches for Heel here now, and Massey, not someone I think has done particularly well this year, and he's going to pop out the shortstop there, and that'll end the top of the fourth. Ildemaru Vargas, and he's after starching one back up the middle, nearly hits Syndergaard, but and he does get on first. Now 2 out, and 0-2 count, and Donaldson will strike out again. 2 strikeouts here for Syndergaard as we move into the top of the 5th, and Pollock is going to strike out to end the top of the 5th. Nice circle change low by Noah Syndergaard. He's actually had some good stuff here today. He won't chase the slurve though. 67 pitches in. You would like him to go 6 innings, and that slider was perfect on the outside corner. Strikeout number 4. And Garcia comes back in the next pitch and gets it into the left center field gap, and Grichuk's not able to cut it off. And Cross backs him up to stop him at second. Slurve on the outside there. Very, very nice. As Meneses is still at second, and Odor is going to take that on third base, and Syndergaard gets out of the 5th. 1-1 for Grichuk now as he chases one way outside, but that somehow stays, not only stays fair, but gets down. He's first base. With 2 down here, Perez has come up, and they're going to intentionally walk him. So Perez moves on to first. Now we've got 2 on, 2 down for Ronald Odor. Had a walk earlier in the game as he gets a ball that's hittable, but it's grounded to first, and the threat is over for Kansas City. Still 1 run each. Syndergaard's still in there in the 6th, but his pitch count is getting up there, but he will end the 6th now as a fly out to right field. Into the bullpen for the Nats here. Victor Arano had pretty high ERA, but someone who's will come in. I'm sure he can eat up a lot of innings, but they'll want them to be flawless here as he starts off against Michael Massey and immediately gives up a hit to him, right back up the middle. So that's him on first. Cross is up now, 1 down, 1-0. And that's another hit back up the middle. Now we've got 2 on, 1 out. Top of the 7th. Maybe we've got a rally going here. Grichuk had that hit earlier. An unusual one. And this one's right down the middle. Grounded the second, doesn't field it cleanly, and Gritchuk can't beat it out. Top of the 7th down. 0-2 for Wood. And he gets one into left field, but Cross cuts it off. And he'll get on for a single. However, Syndergaard's going to come back here with a very nice ground ball to get a double play. 4-6-3. One more will get him through the 7 for 7. Pretty good innings for Syndergaard. And this could be it. House was there. Wasn't cleanly scooped up there by Nicky Lopez. Was going to be a difficult play regardless. So that is a base hit. A good decision as well. However, in the end, Garcia is going to fly out to center field. And Syndergaard has given us 7 pretty good innings. Oh, full count there for Salvador Perez. Goes foul late. The 4-seamer away. It's Anthony Castro in now, and he gets Perez on the low slider. Dylan Coleman is going to come in for us. Probably our best reliever this year. He has been pretty excellent through this season. And maybe deserves an all-star pick. Get off to a pretty poor start, Coleman, but he got that one on strike. I think it's a very nice 2-seamer up high to get to a full count. And they say Thomas doesn't go around, so he'll walk the Lane Thomas here. Nice 2-seamer low there from Dylan Coleman. And gets him on the slider. A little bit higher than you want it to be, but that's Julio struck out. And they're going to steal second here, and that's going to be successful as Kybert Ruiz now has a full count. And the slider is just a little bit low, and he walks him. To be fair, these are mostly competitive pitches. It was his first few that, you know, you'd be upset about as they were poor, but he does get through it. Even though he did put some guys on, he got through it and gets out of the 8th. Kyle Finnegan is going to come in for the Nats for the final inning for the top of the 9th, and we're gonna put in Bobby Witt Jr. here. Didn't start the game due to fatigue issues, and Bobby Witt Jr. is actually has a pretty good season. He got off to a red hot start, has cooled down a little bit, but he's been showing a lot more power this year. I think he's got something like maybe 10 or 11 home runs this year. So maybe he'll be able to hit something here that's fair. And that 2-seamer was a little bit low, but Witt caught it well, and it goes out. What a great time for... Just as I was talking that Witt had more power this year. He had 15 home runs all of last year, I believe. And this is his 11th heading into the All-Star break. As Bobby Witt Jr. has given us the lead. Michael Massey now will want to add on to his single earlier. And he adds another one. Massey, not someone who I've been thoroughly... happy with, but done well in this game. 2 for 4. Nicky Lopez now 1-2. And it does make contact with that, and it will get down. Nicky Lopez gets a single. 2 on here in the 9th, and may be able to extend our lead. 1 down for Jason Vosler. 0-1. And... that could get down here for Vosler. No, they're going to catch it. And that's not going to be enough to tag up in third. And that's going to end the top of the 9th. A mistake that could be costly. Scott Barlow comes in to close this. He's at 17 of 20. His ERA is a little bit high there at 4.21. Gets one-on-one ball. TJ Abrams is going to fly out to center there. Barlow's actually got 99 saves in his career, so this would be his 100th save of his career as he's able to take care of Josh Donaldson as he pops out on the infield fly. Slider there that finds the zone higher than you would want it to be here. And then gets him at the slurve away. A really nice one, too, by Scott Barlow. Washington have struggled to hit a lot of our pitchers here today, but to be fair, they're doing just as poorly as we are this year. So, maybe that's something. That's why our it's such a low-scoring game, as both teams have at least decent pitching. And Barlow will indeed catch the infield fly, and we will win against the Nationals. The 18th save for Barlow. Bobby Witt Jr. comes in on a pinch hit and smashes one out for us. 2 solo home runs, 7 hits, and 2 solo home runs are the ones that are going to get it. We left a lot of guys on base. Dylan Coleman gets the win. He did leave up 2 walks, but don't think he actually let any. Don't think he left up any hits though. So that's a good return from us. As we continue to simulate here, we get a trade offer from the Philadelphia Phillies. Nick Castellanos, Nick Castellanos for Scott Barlow. In terms of overall, this works, but honest and all, like Castellanos is really good. He's got good contact against left. He's got some power. Very good DH option. My issue, and he's like 302 average. He'd be a really good addition. My issue isn't that though. My issue is his contract. He's earning 60 million for the next 3 years. This is not, he would fit in the right field for us, but I just don't think that that's a trade we need to make. We want prospects, not so much guys who want to start now. As the Blue Jays beat us again, and now we get to our scouts. A little bit more simulating, and it has got us to the MLB draft right here as we, of course, pick number 2. But who do the Tigers pick at 1? And that's the big thing. I want to see who they pick. Because that's going to depend, that's really going to decide who we pick at 2. And they go for Roger Caballero, someone we did not have scouted. He was 3 on our board. There's really only 2 choices. Either Gilberto Urban, who I would be leaning towards. I think he has a little bit more about him. Walks are a little bit of an issue, and pitch control maybe. But the hits per 9, good strikeouts. He's going to stop home runs. Cho maybe has a little bit more all-roundedness to him. He's going to stop hits and he's going to stop walks, but his strikeouts and home runs are a little bit less to be desired. But if you want to go offense, Rex Moss is the guy to go for. But I don't think we do go offense. I think we take the guy who's at the top of our board, Gilberto Urban, and I think that's a good pick. I think his stamina does do a lot for him, but I still think that there's a lot there. And his potential is sky high. His potential is at a better level than Tommy Cho right now. I think Tommy Cho's got a 77 to 90 potential, so it is a little bit higher. And the third man drafted is another pitcher, Keith Stahl. So there are the first 3 pitchers gone. Tommy Cho actually went number 4, so we'll have to check him out after the draft. Rex Moss, a guy who I was looking at as well. He just talks about him there. He went to Boston at 8. I think if you want to talk about who you look at, Ken Daly could be someone you could go for. Gustavo Coronado is another player who you could go for in competitive balance rounds. One of those 2, if either of those 2 are still there, I'm going to go for him. I didn't expect Ken Daly to make it to the competitive balance rounds, and he did go to the Rangers at 19. Time is going on. Kirk Ullman, someone who was on the MLB board as number 1, he went 29th, so that's a bit crazy. Julio Soto went to the Baltimore Orioles, I think he's an outfielder that I had scouted. And surprisingly enough, the guy who's number 4 on our draft board, Luis Campos, is still there. Now, the problem I have with Campos is his strikeouts and home runs are a little bit low for my liking. while Gustavo Coronado has a lot more about him. I think he's got a little bit more all-roundedness. I think his draft rank looks good. He's got more interest in us. Overall, I think Gustavo Coronado was someone I wanted to pick in that competitive round. Like I think we're getting a good pick regardless of who we pick. And no, don't get me wrong. I think Luis Campos is good as well, but do I want to, double up on pitcher or a starting pitcher? I need relief pitching. I think that stamina is doing a lot for him. That potential at 78 to 93 is it's a bit scary. I know Gustavo Coronado was 74 to 89, but that's a relief pitcher. You don't need them to hit that heights. So I think I will take Coronado, and I think that's a good pick. Campos went immediately after. So twice, Pirates have picked up the pitchers that we had as second choice. And we're back on the clock again, which is where I wanted to pick Campos if he was still there, but he's not. So now we need to go in a different direction. We don't have many players on our board that we can go for. You saw Grant there. He's in like the 90s. Dudek is 86 on our board. And Lamont Littleton is 87. So we need to go and find someone who's in that draft range that could work for us. The guy I'm looking at here is Ton Dunlap. He's a first baseman. Could give you some power. I think maybe he's an all-rounder. Maybe he's not. We'll have to take a look. He was 71st on the MLB draft board, but I'll just take him here. I think he could be a pretty good guy to take here in this round. On round 3, I think Josh Grant is just a good pick. He's number 85 on our draft rank. This is 76. We're going to take Josh Grant. He was the guy I wanted to take in round 3 regardless. Lamont Littleton ended up going to the Rangers. So that's another player taken by the Rangers. Oh, the Twins took Dudek. Okay, I didn't expect Dudek to go this high. He's a good closer, but I was hoping I'd get him next round. And Mariano Baez is another guy who I'd looked at for a starting pitcher, but he's gone to the Cardinal. For the 4th round, I think our best option would be to take Danny Graham, double up on relief pitching. I do think relief pitching is very, very important, and if you don't have it, you're going to struggle. So getting 2 young relief pitchers into our organization is a good idea. In the 5th round, I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this one. Maybe you just go and take Garrett Hoffman. I mean, his draft rank is 136. He's really good defensively, and I think that's something that we do need. And third base is something I wanted to look at. So I'll take Garrett Hoffman and double down on third base as well. For the last round, I was kind of hoping I could get a catcher, but maybe you just take Troy Visperas, a 96 draft ranked starting pitcher. He's decently all around, a good pitch control, but I don't know much about him. While I'll be more comfortable picking up a catcher like Jeff Hartley, looks to be pretty much reasonably well rounded. I think his defense is a little bit low. But I do think we just pick up the catcher here and just be happy with our draft haul. And that will end the 2024 draft. I'm pretty happy with what we came out with. I think we had a lot of good. I think we got a lot of good picks there, and I'm happy with what we do. So we need to do a little bit more simulating before we get to the All-Star break. We actually did really well in that last week as we get another trade offer here. Tristan Peters for Scott Barlow, a left fielder, C65. I mean, he's not bad. Decent defense. Got some growing offensively to do, but certainly not a bad player. Just not what I want for Scott Barlow, who I think could, reasonably get a B-rated player. And just talking about Scott Barlow, he became an All-Star as our closing pitcher would be picked 21 of 24 with a 3.94 ERA. This is not the guy we saw last year. I think that's fair to say, but he does get into the All-Star team here. Let's see if we got anyone offensively. I don't think we did, not by the looks. Oh no, we did. We got 2 players. Bobby Witt Jr. And Vinny Pasquantino, I do think Vinny Pasquantino deserved this. He's been playing as our DH, and he's been pretty good this year, hitting 310. He hit 317 last year, so a little bit better last year, but he's definitely doing well. Bobby Witt, though, has also done better this year, though I didn't think he was going to be up for an all-star pick here. He's had 12 home runs. I did say his home runs have been up, and I was right about the 15 last year. But that's all we have time for, as we are now 38 and 53 going into the All Star break, and I think it's fair to say that we're not going to make the playoffs. So I think we are going to speed through the rest of this season. Let's see, and of course, see what how our draft picks are. Maybe in the next episode, I do want to get through a lot. Over in the next episode, in the next few episodes, because obviously we're not going to make the playoffs. But that's all we have time for, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.